Let's bring in, that's a headline. Let's bring in Matthew Whitaker, former acting Attorney General under Donald Trump. Matt, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, so the nuclear weapon angle certainly changes it. It's not like, they didn't turn over a menu from a state dinner or a napkin or a note from Kim Jong-un. This apparently is alleged to be something called a special access program document, which is higher than top secret. You know all about that. You can't reveal any of that stuff in public.
We can't talk about that, Steve.
You can't. Exactly right. So what we can talk about is what the people can expect to see today. If the deadline was 3 o'clock, Donald Trump is now encouraging the Department of Justice to release the subpoena. What are we going to see? When are we going to see it? And will we ever see the affidavit, which is the roadmap to why they wound up there?
No, you're right. And good morning and greetings from Iowa. This subpoena and the search warrant together with the inventory is going to tell us a little bit. And what's going to be really frustrating, I think, for a lot of us that are following this very closely is that the inventory is going to be redacted. We saw that in the Department of Justice's motion yesterday. So anything that is going to be classified or named is going to be described in a very generic fashion. So I'm not sure that just the cover page of the warrant together with the inventory is going to give us what we want, because to your point, what we really want to see, and what I think most people that have law enforcement experience want to see, is the sworn affidavit that actually lays out the probable cause and the reason for this search of Mar-a-Lago. It could include such as statements from individuals who had knowledge, recent knowledge of what was at Mar-a-Lago, and I think that's the most important thing, but I'm not sure we're ever going to see that, or if we do, it won't be until a case is charged, which is typical for cases like this.
Yeah, well, to that point, Merrick Garland said that it was authorized because of probable cause. Jackie Heinrich, our reporter in Washington, said a federal law enforcement source told her the probable cause for a search warrant very likely came from a Secret Service member. We obviously don't know if that's the case, but that's what the sources are telling her. Is that what you imagine happened? I mean, the people at Mar-a-Lago are people that work for him, or his family, or members of Mar-a-Lago, and then also Secret Service.
So I know the judge in this case has been a little controversial, but the standard is typically that you want the probable cause and the information that supports that probable cause to issue this warrant to be fresh. And so they're going to have had someone with recent knowledge of where this evidence was and what the crime that was allegedly committed would be. And so, I mean, there's been a lot of speculation as to who or if, but it seems to me that would be a typical situation. You would have a person with recent knowledge that had talked to the FBI about this confidential or classified information.
So, Matt, the way we understand it is June 6th, they have this meeting. The president drops by and says, anything you guys need, I appreciate what you do. June 22nd, someone allegedly comes forward, might have been Secret Service, had speculated and said, he's got some top secret stuff you should take a look at, and here's where it's located. So they finally decide, cut off communication. They get the warrant. They still hold on to the warrant for a couple of days. It's such an emergency. And then they got to wait for him to leave in order not to cause a scene. So he's gone in New Jersey and New York City. And then they raid his place. And the word is the Justice Department did it in a low-profile way not to create this firestorm. How clueless are they to think they could just line up with guards, take over a compound for 9 hours with the FBI and countless trucks, along with with airplanes, and not think it's going to create a firestorm? How much of an emergency can it be if they hold on to the warrant for a couple of days and don't do anything?
Brian, you're absolutely right. This has caused a complete firestorm they should have anticipated, and it does demonstrate how insulated on the 5th floor the Department of Justice is. You know, Merrick Garland said one thing that I just disagree with, and he said that this, obviously DOJ policy, they need to use the least intrusive means for obtaining this evidence. In this case, they went in with, dozens of agents to execute a search warrant, and there had to be a way to not cause this firestorm. They didn't want to do it. They wanted this attention, and they wanted to, I think, demonstrate that Donald Trump is under investigation. They wanted this attention?
They wanted this attention, you think?
Brian, there's so many other ways to get this information, either to continue to negotiate, they could have turned up the heat with a second subpoena. They could have, I mean, they took this step and they crossed a line that they intentionally did, and they knew that it was going to cause this firestorm, and now they have it, and it seems to me that they didn't get what they wanted when they executed the search warrant, so they're trying to walk it back. It's going to be very interesting in the coming days what we learn.
Like, for example, does this have anything to do with January 6th? Did they go in there on one premise and they trying to pull out things to help an investigation?
Matt, thank you very much for joining us from Iowa. Why are you in Iowa?
You're not there. Game?
Are you?
You live there.
Field of Dreams.
I was at the Field of Dreams game last night, and I'm going to the State Fair today.
Nice.
So it's going to be a great day in Iowa.
Are your kids with you?
Of course. And in fact, one of them's working at the corn dog stand.
Oh,
the whole fair.
excellent. And just out of curiosity, are you wearing Bermuda shorts right now?
I don't want to talk about what is my lower half, but you know how to. You're a professional. You know how this is done.
We know exactly how it is.
He's not allowed to tell that classified information either.
That's right.
You know, at the State Fair, they have those jars, and you can put a corn kernel in who you're voting for or who you think will win, and they're never wrong. It's interesting, but that's usually during a presidential election, I think, isn't
during
it?
the caucus years.
Yep, they had Teddy Roosevelt.
All right, listen, Matt, thank you very much for joining us. Go have something wrapped in bacon.
It will be fried for sure.
College football player from Iowa.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.